Greetings, greetings, greetings. Peace, 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 love, oneness. Welcome, family. It's been a long time. I won't be up here long. Let's get on up in the room. Let's get on up in the room. Greetings, greetings. Let me check and make sure all of our settings are good. Let me make sure all of our settings are good. I know everybody was lying, not even expecting that I would be going live anyway. So that's all well and good. That's all well and good. All right, let's just making sure I got all of my settings together. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. All right, where's the camera? Where is the camera? Peace, 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 Mermaid K. Mommy Money. Not Meek Official. Wagwan. Dark Beauty. Okay, I'm still trying to work it, y'all. It's been so long. I act like I forgot how to do this thing. Let me see. There we are. Greetings, greetings. And I might have to cut this light out above my head. Okay. Yeah, that makes it a little bit better. Peace. Greetings, love, and oneness. Now, I didn't plan to come up here and be showing my face all like this, but greetings. Welcome to the end of December. It is about to be 2026. We are moving into a time of reset. And so I wanted to just come in and do a quick check-in with everybody. Like, is everybody good? Like, what's up, Sean? What's up, baby? I wanted to do a quick check-in with everybody just to make sure that everybody is ready to move into the space of this reset, this 2026 reset. It's a lot going on. I know that as we are ending um ending the cycle of the 9 year, which I want to say that it's not just about um endings and letting things go and detoxifications, but it is more about um resetting, recalibrating, realigning, right? Because we know that everything in this reality is cyclical, right? So there's cycle and then there's recycle, and like every few generations, there's some, catastrophic, type of situation that goes on that shakes society, and we're no different. We are not exempt from a lot of the things that we have to deal with and contend with within society, right? But what makes us better than any other society that has had to go through its collapse? It's had to go through its ruins. Can everybody hear me? Peace, peace, peace. Oh, Joe. Hey, y'all. Can everybody hear me? Yeah, y'all might hear my stomach in a minute because I'm fasting. I decided to jump on this, and so it's been like ooh, at least I haven't eaten since about maybe I had something late last night, about 11 o'clock last night. And so I decided that today was going to be the start of my fast. It's so amazing, isn't it? Right? We will say, oh, I'm going to start a fast on New Year. I'm going to start next week, or I'm going to start tomorrow. And who knows what would happen if you started today? Right? If you told yourself, I'm not going to continue to give myself excuses. Oh, well, I'm going to wait until I, get the money, or I'm going to wait until I get the resources. I'm going to wait until I get a partner, or I'm going to wait until I can join the gym and to get active and to get mobile. I was even telling myself this, like, right, that I mean, I don't need a gym membership. Like, there are exercises or there's movements that you can do sitting on a chair in your home, sitting on a couch, standing up. You could do Tai Chi movements. Anybody that's ever been in the military know there's nothing like some good old push ups, right? Some good old up downs, and different things like that. So we got to really, if we say we're ready, right? If we say that we are ready for the reset, because that's what it is, it's a reset. So if you, and we every year, right at the end of the year, everybody says what they're going to give up or what they're going to change or what they're going to start when the new year starts. But this time, it's got to hit different. It's got to hit different, right? Because in in the very woven fabric of our reality, right? We know is the energetic presence, and however this energetic presence is being influenced, whether it's being influenced by human consciousness, whether it's being influenced by um planetary influences, whether it's being influenced by nefarious, sources. We know that everything in our reality is constantly moving, constantly changing, constantly evolving, right? But it's also very dependent on one thing. Your reality changing and your reality evolving is totally and solely dependent on you and your mindset. You know, I've been gone for a minute, but actually I haven't, because I've been doing stuff behind the scenes, and when you know, right? But I'm still here. And if y'all want that, then you got to reach out and you got to tap in and you got to get it, because it's like now it's like Baba was telling me, it's like not about being for me, where I am in my life right now is I have been the observed for so long. All eyes on me, like Tupac, right? And so now, as I'm able to step back and be the observer, you see life, right? Because I'm a lover of life. I love nature. I love to see what the world is doing, even when society looks messed up. I just love the fact that I'm alive and I'm able to see things as they unfold. I'm able to see changes in real time. I'm able to see the emotions of people and what we can do, and more importantly, I'm able to see the power of humanity is something that we have gotten farther and farther away from, the more and more we get embedded within technology. That has been another reason why I have pulled back, what they call it, step back, fell back, all of these different things, because I've been trying to recalibrate my frequency and recalibrate my energy towards the environment. Hmm? The sick planet, um, the lack of bees, unhappy animals, and a disrupted ecosystem. Like sometimes we worrying about the wrong things. Like, yeah, 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 there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, and people are tired. People are seeing the the chaos. We see the chaos, and we say to ourselves that it looks hopeless, it looks grim, everybody's looking for a way out or a way in. You're looking for a way out. People want to repatriate, they want to become expats, they want to leave, and they want to run somewhere. Where you running? Where you going? Hmm? Because the places that you want to run to, a lot of these places, I trust me, I consider running too. But then when you consider that each place has its issue, each place has their problems, each place has things that they are working out, and if you are not already a part of that system, right, it's going to be hard for you to jump in, especially in the middle of chaos. So the time should have been a long time ago for many of us that wanted to, repatriate, right? But to say like now is the time, now isn't the time, and it should have been long before they start doing the bans on travel, and now you can't go in and out freely into certain African countries, you see. So now what are we left holding? Right. And so for those that did get the opportunity to get out, don't think you out the woods yet, because what they're going to do, and this is just coming from spirit, like what they're going to do is they're going to start mandating that some of y'all come on back. Right. And then if you don't, then you risk maybe losing the money that you're living in another country, and some people are still, getting their, whether it be retirement benefits or whatever type of, they will they're listen, are you ready for the reset? Are you ready for the 2026 reset? Right? We have to also be very honest with ourselves and know when we talk about preparation or um getting ourselves um in order, that preparation is not just about supplies and material things. Preparation is also inner preparation. It is preparation of your mind, body, your spirit, your soul, right? I know, like, I can feel the tiredness where people are feeling tired, people are feeling disconnected, people are tired of the loops, the negative loops that keep happening, right? But tiredness is a state of mind. I am so learning that now. The more I sit back and observe, because in order to be a scientist, you have to be able to observe. You have to be able to observe. You have to be able to research. You have to be able to analyze. You have to be able to deduce, right? You also have to be willing to say, oh, wow, I thought that that was that, but based on more data, now I realize that now that I have more data, isn't that something? That we can make better choices and make better decisions about our lives based on the amount of data that we have. And when you're moving without data, meaning that you are moving without knowledge, without wisdom, well, then you are not making proper choices. So when we talk about being ready for a 2026 reset, and I don't know, it's just something about this upcoming new year that is making me feel like this is just going to be different than other new years. Like there's so much going on, but there's also a lot going on that is great, that is good. And what we've got to do is we've got to stop focusing solely on everything that is going wrong, because what that's going to do is that's going to anchor you into a negative, low frequency timeline. Excuse me. It's going to anchor you into a low frequency timeline, right? And I've got a feeling that a lot of people are changing the way that they think. A lot of people are changing the type of content that they consume. A lot of people are changing a lot of things. Like I spent weeks, a couple of months now, like just not even going on YouTube at all. As many of you know, I completely deleted the entire other channel, meaning you can't get on it at all, because now I wanted to kind of unplug and again tap into what's going on in real life, right? Because when your brain consumes so much, what I'm talking about is the constant um, uh, 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 consuming of content, to where the this is where you get your knowledge. This is where you get your information. We don't read books anymore, which is why I have been moved to have spent the past several months in writing books, like writing, like there's nothing like the feel of a good book in your hands, right? But we want to watch a video and we want to get our knowledge from there. Um, Sometimes there are certain answers that you're only going to be able to get from source. That means there's not a book, there's not a video, there is not um, a creator, there's not a mentor, there's not anybody that can give you certain things but source. And the way that you're going to be able to hear source communicating with you is to sometimes pull the plug and become totally silent. It is very difficult to do that in a world full of noise where we are expected to be a part of this grand noise making band. You know, everybody has a voice, but sometimes the only way to hear source is to be quiet. So, in being quiet, that means sometimes you have to pull back. You have to pull away from everybody. You have to, it's a shame that we live in a world that people have so many demands on our energy. Meaning, I think that when people love you, that they should know you and you should know them, vice versa. And I'm talking about when people know you intimately, right? So you may have to, if you're running a business or if you are, you may have to, like me, in many cases, I would send emails to my email list at the temple and I would say, "Hey, I'm going to be off for a while. I'm not going to be doing any readings. I'm not going to be, doing any mentoring. I'm not because these are the times that I need to fall back and I need to unplug and I need to recharge and I need to do that for me." And like I have stated to you all in the past is that, I don't know what y'all think people got like batteries in their backs, that anytime you call or anytime you snap your finger or anytime you rub a pot like a genie, that somebody's supposed to pop out so that you can make a wish. Well, guess what? You know, energy is a very, very, very expensive commodity. mm, More valuable than time, more valuable than money. mm. So we have to remember that in order to even moving forward when we move into the 2026 reset, this is something that you all need to take very near and dear, is that it's okay to start putting yourself first. Because if you don't put yourself first, right? If people think that they can just tap into your energy and just dig into the pot and grab a little bit for themselves and, spread it out like that, and then you're sitting around looking like, "Oh, wow, what have I done for myself lately?" Many of you don't even know the last time you treated yourself well, that you did something nice for yourself because you are so busy being a caregiver, a caretaker, um, you know, just being there for everybody in the world. Whether your job is demanding of this, whether this is your personal nature, I know it's my personal nature. I know that I have, reasonings with my spouse all the time about how I feel like, wow, that's always me being that one checking. And there's a few that will, check on me. But, you know, something that was said to me recently was that what a person's gift is, what your gift is. Your gift might be that you're the person that is going to make sure that everybody in the family, gets a plate on the holidays, right? And you're not looking for anything in return. It's just the way that you do. Sometimes, I think on my journey, sometimes I've had to reckon within myself that certain things that I am driven to do, like no matter how tired it makes me, or no matter whether I get any type of reciprocal energy, certain things that I'm just compelled to do. I found out that those things are a part of your makeup. And instead of sitting around being upset about it, being mad about it, and trust me, I've had to meditate on this several times for several days, several weeks, several months, several years. It's always been a thing of mine. And then I had recently, I've got this epiphany, and I'm like, I'm like, wow, like, so that's my programming. Now, programming can be upgraded based on what? Receiving more data. Meaning what? When you know better, you do better. So, what I want you all to take with you into the reset, into the 2026, into what the Gregorian calendar calls the new year. Remember, the Ethiopian um, new year is September the 11th. You know, different places around the world celebrate the new year differently, but because we are in the West and our vibration has been calibrated to a 12-month solar cycle, this is what it is. But what I want you to take into this space with you is the notion that if you don't have anything in your cup, you can't give. Your cup has to be running over. So if you pray, if you meditate, if you practice the law of attraction or whatever it is that you do, what you need to be reasoning for within yourself is that you have enough. You It's not just enough to have enough, especially if you're called to teach, to lead, to guide, to do anything to help assist the earth. Right? You can't give from a place of emptiness. You can't give from a place of tiredness. You can't give from a place of being emotional. Watch this, right? Because when we see things that are imbalanced, those of us that are empaths, when we see things that are imbalanced in the world, when we see things that are wrong and we know that it is outright wrong, or we feel within ourselves that it's outright wrong, and we can barely do anything to change it. Here's where we mess up. We get stuck in the feeling of it all. And remember, what you feel is what you manifest. Because remember that the law of attraction is nothing without the law of vibration. So what you feel, you will attract more of. So what we have to do is be able to look at the things that's going on in the world around us, in society, in our neighborhoods, in our communities. And if these are things that are imbalanced, off alignment, or just downright wrong, what we have to do is be able to look at it from a different perspective, from a higher perspective, not one of judgment, not one that keeps us locked in the feeling of it all, but what can I do to make it better? Come up with community programs. Hmm. Decide that you will find a way in your own way without expecting compensation. Because the other thing I realized as I'm leaving out of this 9 cycle is that every gift that I have should not be monetized. And I got a lot of them, like gifts on top of gifts on top of gifts, right? And every time, like I'm always thinking, oh, this is a download. I need to do this and make a business out of it. I need to make some money off of it. And I need to. And sometimes your gifts are gifts that should keep giving without expectation. That's why I never made it in the music industry. Thank God and goddess. I never made it in the music industry. And I couldn't say that 10 years ago that I was happy with all the talent that I have, that I never made it. Like, right. You feel me? Like now I'm looking back and I'm like, I dodged a bullet on that one. Sometimes you got to look at some of the things that you wanted for your life, or things that you expected or you thought that, you had the right to, and they don't manifest for you, or they don't work out for you the way that you think that they should be working out. And you're looking around you and you're looking at other people with half the notion that you have. and they're successful. See, sometimes everything is not a blockage. Sometimes everything is not witchcraft. Sometimes everything is not somebody throwing something your way to stop you or block your destiny or steal your destiny. Sometimes your ancestors or the creator, the great architect, is protecting you from the unseen, from things that you can't see behind the scenes, no matter how much you think you can see. Am I saying something right tonight? I just want to know if I'm saying something right. I just want to know if I'm saying something right. You know what I mean? Sometimes, we hold things in us and we look at it as some sort of a failure. We look at it as some sort of a something, and it's not a failure. See, you got to be okay with knowing that where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. You think not, because you think we have these things we tell ourselves. Oh, I should have been married by now, or oh, I should have bought a house by now, or oh, I should have started my business by now, or oh, I should have been a millionaire by now. If I had a nickel for all that I should have been by nows that I've thought within my own life, I'd already be a millionaire or a billionaire. Sometimes the reason why we can't, what's the word? What's the what's the word when sometimes the reason why we can't finish the race. Watch this. This is heavy, but I got to give it to you. I got to give it to you raw. Straight no chaser as we move off into the reset. As I was visualizing this analogy of a race running in my mind right now, I was thinking sometimes we can't finish the race because we're too cocky. Oh, we know we the fastest runner, or we know, and sometimes in that cockiness, you get caught slipping. No different than the boxer in the boxing ring. They're so cocky. Oh, I done knocked everybody out. Oh, I'm 12 and 0. And you so cocky, and you're throwing your hands up and you're beating your chest, and mhm, until you get caught slipping. And then you get that knockout punch that you weren't expecting. Or you get that person coming up behind you, close on your heels, and passing you through the finish line. And you weren't expecting that, because sometimes when we get too cocky, when we get too full of ourselves, when we know that we know, like, oh, I'm that, and I'm this, and I'm that, something has to happen to keep you in balance. Something has to happen to keep me in balance. Everything, and this is one thing that I want us to go into the reset. This is something that has been on my heart for several months. And it was only until I was led to move forward through spiritual guidance to tap back into the YouTube, having unplugged from the rest of the old energy from the old channel, and those that are coming here on the new timeline. So I tried to drop enough seeds to go back and get ones and ones. So if they came and they followed, then great, so be it. But what I want us to go into the new reset knowing is that we've spent decades, you know, chasing this notion of, um, you know, spiritual attack, and somebody light a candle on you, or somebody do this, or somebody take your hair, and somebody do this and somebody that. We've spent so much time in the mindset of somebody outside of us being able to do something to harm us. And then in turn, what that makes us do is spend an equal amount of time fighting off such things. When that same amount of time and energy, remember that energy is the most valuable commodity in this scenario. So we've spent so much time fighting such things, trying to avoid such things, returning back such things, that same amount of energy could have been used to build our empires, to manifest the things that we wanted to manifest in our lives. Because why have we been that way for so long, family? We've been that way for so long, family, because it is a programming. It is a part of the program that needs to be upgraded before we move into the new reset. And that part of that programming, that you can actually, just like you can go into your Windows, or if you're using the Apple Macintosh products or whatever that you're using, you can go into these things and you could delete programs that your computer no longer needs. This is what needs to happen. And what we need to do is delete the program that states that anybody outside of you can do you anything. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. And if you intend to prosper, then you have to alleviate any notion that anybody outside of you can do you anything. Man, you all need to get my books. By the way, you need to get my books. There's a link in this YouTube, um, in the description of this video. It's a 4-part series. We are not what broke us. This is what I've been up to. I've been up to trying to produce, these videos. These people control these platforms, and at any time they can decide that we're out of here. But see, what you put, literally what you scribe, like the ancient libraries of time, right? Um, it's left behind. It's something physical, it's something tangible. So you can get those books on paperback, and you can get them in Kindle. And I've signed myself up with the Audible, but I'm going to voice my own audiobooks, because I don't think there's anybody that can voice them like me. So if you are a person that loves audiobooks, then a couple of my titles will be available via Audible. But I really think that there's a lot that I've shared within these writings. Oh, so the 4-part series, We Are Not What Broke Us. The first one is I Can't Find God. And so, in I Can't Find God, what I talk about is where, like, we are all looking for God in so many places, like looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for love. What I'm saying? We looking for God in all the wrong places. And ultimately, eternally, God is within you, right? And so this book kind of breaks down the mindset that we've had and the mindset that we need to come out of, and the way to do that. The second book in the series is called My Mind is Gone. My mind is gone. And so what I talk about in volume 2 of the 4-book series, We Are Not What Broke Us, is I talk about the dismantling of the human psyche, especially within the Black community, of the way that social media just done made us crazy. You got people disciplining their children all on, social media, shaving their heads and doing all type of crazy stuff. This need for attention, which oftentimes becomes spectacle. And so I also give solutions. I don't write anything in judgment. I write as an observer, and then I offer solution. The third book in the title is called Brother, I See the God in You. I don't think that needs no explanation. And the fourth book in the series is called Don't Call Me Baby Mama. Why did I write a book called Don't Call Me Baby Mama? Because when a mother, a melanated mother especially, is comfortable being reduced to that term, my BM, my BM. I When I first heard somebody say they BM, I thought they was talking about their bowel movement, and I'm not making a joke. I'm very serious. Your BM, and so we get comfortable taking these titles that kind of keep us in a particular mindset, whereas the melanated woman, you are the mother of creation. So how can you let somebody reduce you to baby mama? So these books are uplifting. These are social healing and social awareness books that I have written. All right. So make sure that you can get your copies. Some of you have already ordered a 3-book bundle. We have 2 fiction, spiritual fiction novels as well. That's a completely different set. Okay, and you all will be getting your books directly from me, signed copies, and those copies, anyone that come directly from me and not Amazon, comes with a free gift. Okay, so I definitely just wanted to share that. That's right, Mama Imani. Nobody can voice my my audio book for me. I don't know anybody that could. That's right. When I was a child, I thought, as a child, um, and I acted as a child. As I mature, I must reset. Absolutely. Absolutely. We've got to reset. We've got to reset. And in resetting, we have to recognize that healing is possible. Not only is healing possible, that healing is the only way, right? Victimhood doesn't look good on anybody. I shared that with somebody recently, and a lot of us have this tendency to just be stuck in victimhood. I mean, we've all done it. It's like the woe is me, song, but victimhood, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. We've got to start taking accountability. We got to start taking accountability. If you look around, and I'm not going to be here too long, but if you look around, right, and see what's going on, like I said, there's so much to complain about. So much to complain about. The chaos and the conflict is, happening across global borders, the economy, the shutdowns, things that are going on within the celebrity communities and all of that. And as I said, it just appears that a lot of these things are just being kind of shutting down and being destroyed brick by brick. But what are we going to build up in its place? Right. And again, the building starts with you. So if there are certain things about your mindset, your mentality, your belief system, if things have to be um, changed, upgraded, or updated based on more data, more knowledge, then that's what you're gonna have to do. That's what you're gonna have to do, because to stay the same in a world that's changing, well, that's no good for you. That's no good for you. All right. So I want us to, you can also, I think, did I put the link in there? Where's my moderator? Um, Ganja Cat and Papa Meek, Big Homie Ogun. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, so many of you have joined the room. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. I believe I put the link in there for those ones and ones who want to get their 2026. It will be written. I'm not doing the video calls, the Zoom calls, or anything else like that, but I will do your forecast and your look over 2026 to get an energetic peek and look. So the link is in the description of this YouTube. And for those of you that received the email directly from me, check your emails and all of the links for what you need for the books and all of that. Now, really quick, um, for those that are celebrating these holidays out here, I do want to tell you to be safe. I want to tell you to there's something that I've been there's something that I've been learning as I've been watching and learning a lot about economics and consumerism and how our psychology um, plays a role in the way that we spend and what we spend our money on and the products and why we are continuously in debt or we run these circles of debt and poverty. So I've been doing a private study group behind the scenes, for a few weeks now, for those, and I think I want to also implement some other teachings, into that group. Um, and because when we look at psychology, right? The study of your psyche, the way that your brain works. And if you don't have control over your mind and your thoughts, this is why it's very important for us to have control of our mind and thoughts. This is why people that are in marketing, people that have degrees in marketing, they sit back in these boardrooms, right? And they come up with these ideas based on the way that they know the human mind works, right? What will work to drive sales, whether it be the colors, whether it be the pitch, whether it be the tone in which the person is speaking during the commercial. There are a lot of things that I've been studying up on that show us the psychology behind consumerism. And so, because that's something that most of us don't sit back and think about when we just trying to figure out why we're compelled to spend our money on things, and then we have this buyer's remorse after we spend all this money on this particular thing, and we sit back and tell ourselves or ask ourselves, did I really need that? Right. But there is a psychology to spending. Right. And so, one of the things as we move into, and I'm speaking about this because it is around the holiday time, and many of us in the melanated community, this is all we've known. You got to do this for Christmas, you got to do that for Christmas. And it's amazing because I've not celebrated Christmas probably in over 30 years, probably longer than that because my oldest child is well over 30. So, right. I I've not celebrated Christmas for a very long time because of this, although I had not been as much of a wisdom keeper knowing the psychology behind it as I am now. It was just always about I'm not about to just be spending it and being broke, right around the time, of the new year. It's time to pay bills. January 1st, rent is due, bills are due. At that time I was a young mother. My children still had to have things for school, and we will break ourselves in the melanated community. And we give ourselves excuses and we tell ourselves, well, it's for the children and, this and that. But guess what? The children, look at this. If you took that same amount of money and purchased for your child or your grandchild one inexpensive to medium cost gift every month for 12 months, I bet you the child would like that better than receiving a lot of stuff on one day. And then you're teaching the child something. You're teaching the child value. You're teaching, I don't know what people want to teach their children. I guess that's not my place. But what I'm saying is that when you're going out there and you're spending all of your money for Black Friday, most of you probably started it, and then your Cyber Monday and you're spending on it's consumerism. Everybody got a Black Friday deal. Everybody got a Cyber Monday deal. But it's the psychology of spending that has kept us um as a nation of people, I'm talking about the melanated nation, it has kept us impoverished. It is the same reason that other cultures of people could come to this country, right, who have not contributed as much as the Black American has contributed to this nation. And they can come here and they can be successful in business and they can become wealthy here, right, because they have not been inundated, they have not been trained, they have not been programmed with the same level of psychological deterrence as it relates to how we spend our money. It's like soon as we get a dollar in our pocket, it's burning a hole in our pocket. We got to spend it. I'm guilty. But if we want to take something into the new year, I'm talking about this reset because we are on a new timeline, then we have to understand, why are we compelled to do the things that we do? Why don't I have more control over my mind? Why don't I have more control over my body? Why I won't get myself up off the couch and do, why? Because there's a psychology behind everything. They say mind over matter. We've got to get control of our minds, family. And this is why I say, moving into 2026, we are no longer holding a notion of those of you. I still have people hitting me up right now today. Sister Ningba, some of them still call me Sister Stone. It is what it is. I think somebody, put some witchcraft on me, or they did this. Is there anything I can do? Yes, contact somebody else. You can do that because I no longer subscribe to the notion. When I did, you should have got at me then. But I no longer subscribe to the notion that anybody outside of you can do anything to harm you. If your frequency is high, if your mind is right, if you, to the best of your knowledge, um, worked out your karma. How do you know if you worked out your karma? Because you know the things that you've done, even if you never speak these things aloud, even if you never write it in a book or a diary or a journal, or you never confess it in a confession booth. You know the things that you have done that you felt within yourself, not that somebody else told you that was wrong, but the things that you felt within yourself were wrong. You know those things. So certain things you can't take it back, but what can you do? You can take yourself to a space mentally where you confront who you were in that moment, in that period of time. You offer yourself the knowledge and the wisdom. You offer yourself the healing. You offer yourself metaphysically within the realms. You offer yourself a different choice. You offer yourself a different route. Whether you can, if it's a thing that you've done against somebody else, everybody else might not be either alive or in a mental state to want to talk to you to work anything out. That's not your problem either. What we're talking about is you being able to weigh your heart against the feather. Hmm? So when we talk about preparation, being ready to move into 2026, it's not just about supplies and materials and wanting to stop this behavior or this habit, or, start these businesses. What it is, what we're talking about is, we're talking about an internal reset, that you have everything that you know that you needed to release in this cycle of release. You've pretty much let it go because you're not going to be able to take it with you moving forward. Like, this is like the final call, last call for alcohol. You're not going to be able to take it into the new reset because it's a completely different frequency. It's not going to feel right. It's going to stagnate you. It's going to start bringing blockages where blockages don't have to be. All you got to do is be strong enough. All you have to do is be disciplined enough. All you have to do is tell yourself, look, I am running for my life. And when you tell yourself that your life depends on you changing your mindset, well, then your life will change. Greetings, greetings, greetings. All right, listen, I want to again um, tell everybody, thank you for riding with me this whole time. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of you all's lives. Thank you for being a part of my life. Thank you for teaching me how to be better. Thank you for um, uh, witnessing my my many different phases um, of spirituality, of deliverance, right? Because we we come into this space thinking that we are called, right? And it's not until we have been tried until we really become called. And I realize that now, right? I came into the space knowing that I had gifts, yes, exercising those gifts, monetizing those gifts. And it worked for me for as long as it needed to work for me because spirit wanted those around me to see the reflection. They wanted them to be able to see themselves in me. And I realize that now. Right. But then there came a time in my space where I didn't feel like the spirituality could or should be monetized in that way because as I began to look around and see everything needed to be monetized about spirituality now that it was more of a genre, it was more of a a money grab. I wanted no parts of that energy at that point. I was like, okay, well, boom, I'm not. Yeah, no, I ain't gonna do that. I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I could do that. I could still be very active if I wanted to, because ain't nothing changed. The gifts are still there. But what's changed is my mindset and the way that I want to express, the way that I want to share. I want everything to be more grounded now. I want people to recognize that you don't have to depend on me. You don't have to depend on anybody else. You don't have to depend on external tools. It's not in the cards. Make sure you get my memoir if you haven't gotten it already, right? That every bit of energy that we put out externally, right? Either has to be okay where it is or it has to be called back. Has to be called back. And it's okay with calling back some of your energy. It's okay with calling back some of your energy, but I'm really, really urging you all to release the things that if you're still feeling stuck, if you're still feeling at these loops, if you're still feeling these feelings of hopelessness, I'm telling you now, you got about a couple of days. You've got about a couple of days before you are able to, move through the next portal in time. And the next portal in time for us is one of emerging. It is one of truly becoming that which we were destined to be and not worrying about what it looks like to somebody else, not holding on to things that look, feel and sound familiar because this is what has gotten us by all this time. That's not what this calling is about. This calling is different and it's got to hit different and you got to move different so that you can be different. All right. With that being said, I want to thank you all so much. Thank you for check shamanic mystic. Wow. Shamanic mystic, shoot me your email really quickly if you don't mind. Can you matter of fact, I was thinking about you too. Astral Talk TV, greetings. Sister Janice Williams, peace and grace. Sunny Delgado, M. Dane, what's happening? Yes. Sticky Too Sweet, what's going on? Hot's Pants. Hot Walk. I am the Beyond Sean. Okay, I think, yeah, Sean was in earlier. Yes. I'm so happy that all of you came in. Remember what I said now. I dropped some good ones up in here. And we're going to try to keep everything the way that we want it to go in a positive direction. Like I said, I miss you guys too. I miss you so much. You guys can get that 12-month forecast and outlook with a meditation for the next 12 months. It's something different than the one that you got a couple of weeks ago. It's updated now. So you'll get the outlook for the next 12 months each month, right? And I think it's only like $40. So the link is also in the description of this video. And I'm not sure if I sent it in the email, but I may have, and you guys can get that as well. Just right now for the next couple of weeks while I'm feeling like doing doing some outlooks for you all. Let me see, is there anything else in the Seed of Light news, in the temple news? Like I said, other than the books, other than we've got the new site, and we're still you guys should have gotten the link for that, right? We're still doing our monthly meditations, and our spiritual talks and everything. So everything is still going, but we've just moved our platform. All right. We're tired of these major companies robbing us. And I mean, robbing us and not providing the quality of service that we need, when if a presence is all we need, and if we're here for spirit, and if we're here for the presence, then that's what it's about. All right. Until next time, guys, I want to tell you all that uh, you're valuable, you're loved. Yeah, you should have got it. I'll check again. Let me see. Let me see. Clarity 9357. Hey, yes, I will. Email me, Astral Talk. Email me. Um, where is Shamanic Mystic? Shamanic Mystic, email me at enrollment enrollment at seedoflightlearning.org. Enrollment at seedoflightlearning.org. And then what'll happen is one of the temple staff will let me know, and just make sure that you know that you're trying to contact Ningba directly, or that you're trying to get the link for that. And then one of the temple staff will hit you guys up with what you need, or direct you directly to me. Absolutely, M. Dane. I am doing the written, emailed um sessions right now only, but trust me, you still get me. I'm conserving my energy in a way that protects us all. Right now it's about putting yourself first, all of you putting yourself first, all of you knowing your worth and your value, and you all being willing to be disciplined, right, and strong enough to stabilize and anchor yourself into a new timeline. All right, y'all, I'm out of here. Peace, love, and oneness.